Welcome to Inside the Deal. I'm Suzanne Stevens. With me today is Joel Papernik. Joel is a partner with Mintz Levin. Joel, we know that the lack of financing out there in the market is keeping down the level of M&A. How big of an issue is valuation? How much of a factor is that in the levels of M&A we're seeing?
I think it's the biggest issue. I mean, the buyers don't want to look at a deal they made a year before and feel silly about it. And the sellers are always afraid of selling too cheaply and thinking, well, gee, if they had only held on, they would have been better off.
So that gap between the bid and the ask price is still pretty wide?
Yes, it is. But we're still always working towards closing the gap and doing it in lots of different ways. Sometimes it's within the transaction, and sometimes it's really by doing another transaction. Let's say you're a biotech company and you're thinking, gee, to really get to the next level, we're going to need a large pharma to be our owner. But we don't like the valuations, but we might have various programs, various drug candidate programs, various assets. So what we might do to just get some more runway, to have a little more time before we ultimately do absolutely have to sell ourselves, is to sell one of our assets and then keep the rest of your company hoping for those values to go up. Or you might just sell some of your equity to a partner, hoping that in a year or two, at a later round, you could sell at a higher price. So that's what we're seeing.
What about pegging the price on a deal to some index that you can measure against later? Are you seeing much of that?
Yes, well, it's something that we are suggesting to both investment bankers and companies buying and selling. What we're talking about is having a price reset where a company is sold today for what we'll call the minimum price. And then a year from now, we take a look, for example, again, staying with the biotech, I was the American Stock Exchange Biotech Index, or we can even make up our own index of comparable companies, and we provide for a reset, usually upward, but it could be upward or downward, where we could raise the price if all of the prices have gone up as reflected in the index.
Joe, we're coming off a time of really inflated pricing,
Right.
Looking 2 years
Right.
prior to the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Do you think when we finally start seeing some stabilization, we will see more conservative pricing that will take hold in the market?
I do think so. I don't think we're going to see those prices spike up so quickly. Just as the market seems to be creeping up, that should be reflected in our deal prices as well. But there are deflationary factors and concerns. A new issue that's being raised is this question of how much contracts are going to be honored. I think that's going to hurt valuation a little bit. So I think it's going to take quite a long time, maybe 10 years to get back to the froth that we had 2 years ago.
And that's not always a bad thing.
No, we will get some more value. On the buy side, we'll get some more value for our money.
Joel Papernik with Mintz Levin. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you, Suzanne.
I'm Suzanne Stevens. Thanks for watching Inside the Deal.